What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Set 6 reveal, where we are going to dive into the nitty-gritty of literally everything. Okay, if you guys take the time to like or subscribe, appreciate it a lot. We're going to be playing a lot of Set 6 games starting now. Alright, shout out to the League Partner Program. Let's get into the new game mode. Alright, we're going to speed run everything. New game mode Double Up. It is a 2v2v2v2 mode. Okay, health is shared. The first time reaching 0 health is forgiven. After that, any loss ends the game for both players. Okay, winning a round will send your units to help your teammate win their round. That's pretty crazy. And new items and armories can send items/champions to your teammate. This game was going to be so much fun. I actually asked Riot how well Hyperworld did, and they were very happy with how it did, and they're going to be incorporating it again. Maybe not in this set, but future ones for sure. Okay, but this 2v2 mode looks very promising. All right, 2v2v2, whatever you want to call it. But this is the big mechanic with the entire set. It's called Augments, okay? Appear 3 times per game during minions, before wolves, and before raptors. They're divided into 3 power levels. Everyone sees the same power level, but not the same specific augment options, okay? We're going to dive into all of these real soon. But yes, this is the new game mechanic that is going to change everything. It's going to make every game feel extremely different. You'll know what I'm talking about once we dive deeper into it, okay? But as you may know, champs all across the board. This is a new fortune. It's called Mercenary. We'll dive into that. There are some champions, colossal champions, that actually take up 2 units, which we're going to dive into. Yordles are back. The list goes on. I don't even know some of them yet that we're going to be taking a look at. All right, but traits, there's a lot of them. This doesn't really show us much, so we'll just start talking about them. Items, though, few item changes. Okay, Archangel Staff, you now gain 25 AP every 4 seconds. This is obviously during the round. Pretty cool. 600 HP shield that blocks 1 spell. Pretty cool, pretty interesting. Deathblade, I'm not that much of a fan of this Deathblade, if I'm being totally honest. I like the previous one, but you just get flat AD based on your star level. Not that amazing. Dragon's Claw, 18% of max HP damage with a little cooldown, yada yada. Quicksilver Sash also gives attack speed now, pretty cool. Also gives 15 AD, no longer procs on hit, dude. Finally, the day is done where no on hits whatsoever are now on Hurricane. Huh. I honestly thought it'd be more fun keeping the on hits, but whatever. Static Shiv also gives 15% attack speed. Nice little buff to that. Force of Nature has a new name and a new look. Pretty cool. Okay. Got a little crown going on. Kind of like Force of Nature, but this works too. Anyways, let's start off with Academy. Alright? Academics have bonus attack damage and ability power. They also learn from their allies. Okay, so you gain an additional bonus whenever the ally casts their abilities. Okay? 2, 15, 4 from allies when they cast, and then ramps up, so on and so forth. Pretty cool. It's kind of weird if you like put your items on one carry. The more they cast, they don't get buffed up, but their whole team does. So lots of blue buffs in this Academy shenanigans are probably going to be solid to buff up the other units. That'll be interesting to see what kind of build variations go with this. But Chemtech, woohoo! After dropping below 60% health, Chemtech champions gain 25% damage reduction, 50% attack speed, and regenerate 4% of their maximum health every second. Pretty cool stuff. Last 8 seconds, last 15 seconds. Okay, the more you get, the harder these suckers look to kill. Victor's crazy, by the way. We're going to dive into him later. But pretty cool stuff. Chemtech seems interesting. Clockwork. Your team has increased attack speed with an additional increase per augment in the Hex Core. So, as you know, we talked about the augments earlier. Early on, mid game, late game, that's when you get more of them. And it looks like this will scale really well in the late game, especially with the double 4 cast units in a team comp. Don't see that very often. But I'm happy to see that Jhin is back. Gotta love me some Jhin. Alright, here we go. Cuddly. We're going to dive into, I guess this is not diving into champions, but only one champion has this. At the start of combat, Yuumi attaches herself to the nearest ally or the lowest health ally. After being unattached for 2 seconds, attaching to an ally grants them a shield equal to 75% of Yuumi's maximum health. Interesting. Yuumi detaches if the shield breaks. While attached, Yuumi is untargetable and cannot attack, but gains 5 mana per second and 10 mana whenever the ally attacks. Yo, attack speed team comps, letting Yuumi fire off her ulti is going to be nutty. Okay, Enforcers stun the enemy at the start of combat. They break free after 4 seconds after losing 30% of their maximum, or after losing 30% of their maximum health. Interesting. This goes through all types of CC, whether it's Colossal or QSS or whatever. But the enemy who has the most health, that's who you stun. But this number 4 is the coolest in my opinion. The enemy who dealt the most damage last round. This is so cool. Yo, what if they have the most health and they dealt the most damage? Does it just only stun that one target then? Maybe it'll go to the second most, who knows. But moving on. Glutton. An ally can be fed to Tahm Kench once per planning phase, permanently granting him either attack damage, ability power, health, armor, or magic resist. This is interesting, so let's watch it. Okay, you just snag your champion, throw him in their belly, and what? Does he get spit out, or what's going on here? We'll have to learn more about that one. But Imperial. At the start of combat, the Imperial who dealt the most damage last combat becomes the Tyrant. The Tyrant deals bonus damage. When the Tyrant dies, the Imperial who has dealt the most damage this combat becomes the new Tyrant. This is so cool because no matter who you itemize is going to be popping off like crazy. This is going to be one of my favorite carry comps to run. All right, gotta love it. Mercenary, oh my gosh, I am so excited to mess around with this one. Okay, gain a treasure chest that opens when you win combat against a player. Okay, at the start of combat of each planning phase versus a player, dice rolls add the loot to the chest. Okay, the longer you've gone without opening a chest, the luckier the dice. This I already know is going to be amazing. During the presentation, Riot said some of the drops that we have in here probably shouldn't be in here. So that gets me really excited because similar to 12 Lost Fortune back in who knows what set that was, things got a little wild. Set 4 I think it was. But roll 2 dice, yada yada. The dice are even luckier. Upon winning, roll a third die that grants bonus loot. So excited for all of these. I cannot wait. Mutant. This one gets a little crazy. Okay, mutant effects change from game to game. So this is where things get real tricky. They have so many different options. It is ridiculous. Okay, there's a HP and AD version. There's a chance to attack more like the old Blade Master from set 2 or something like that, or set 3 or whatever. Get extra AD and AP. Oh boy, each time an ally dies they get that. It's like a Dark Star mutant. There's even more of them too. Omnivamp. Mutants deal true damage. This is ridiculous. Every 2 seconds mutant grow, gaining a bonus that stacks up to 5 times. Ridiculous. How many are there? Are there more of them? Okay, nope, that's all of them. Whew. But mutant's gonna be an interesting one. Alright, good luck maining that team comp. But at the start of combat, scrap. This is scrap. At the start of combat, components held by scrap champions turn into full items for the rest of combat. Your team also gain a shield for each component equipped, including those that are part of a full item. Pretty interesting. Very interesting. This is going to be an early game shenanigans. I'm curious if all components, if going 6 scrap is ever going to be a good idea. Sounds very RNG heavy considering you're getting pretty random items thrown into the mix. But all those champions up there, pretty fun to mess around with. We'll see how well they go into other team comps. But Sister, this one's weird. Sister gain empowered skills to combine with each other. Okay, visibility range increases by 2 hexes. Interesting. Jinx gains 50% attack speed for 3 seconds after scoring a takedown. She gets her passive from League of Lego. That's pretty sweet. All right, we've got to throw in the Sister, Mr. Sisters. That'll be fun. Socialites reveal a spotlight on the battlefield. The unit standing in the spotlight at the start of combat gain unique bonuses. Put in one of these bad boys, 15% bonus damage. Put in 2, 5 mana per second. And the third one, heal for 20% of the damage they deal. This is so cool. One of my favorites. You actually need 4 champion slots to put in these 3 champions though, because Galio, we'll get into that in a second. All right. Syndicate. Certain allies are cloaked in shadows, gaining 40 armor, 40 magic resist, and 25% Omnivamp. Syndicate champions with the lowest health percent. All Syndicate champions, your whole team, and this effect is increased by 50%. Oh my gosh. Putting in 7 of those is nuts. But all these champs kind of scary. Wow. Transformer. Jace adopts melee form when placed in front of 2 rows and ranged from the back 2 rows. That's sweet. That is so cool. Curious which one is going to be better, which one we like more, all that good jazz. But Yordles. After each player combat, a random Yordle is added to your bench for free. And Yordle abilities cost 20% less mana. Alright, so if you 3-star everyone, you'll start pooping out a Vigar, which is nutty. I think that's who's up next. Yordle Lord. Okay, Vigar is summoned from a Yordle portal when every Yordle is a 3-star. This is messed up on the PowerPoint. Don't read that. But Vigar is nuts. You can only get him when everyone's 3-starred. Okay, gotta love that one. Alrighty, Arcanist. Arcanist increases the ability power of your team. 2, gain 20% ability power. 4, gain additional 40%. 6, 8, and so on. Bonus AP. Who says no to that? You know what I'm saying? Assassins. We know these very well. Okay. When combat starts, assassins leap to the enemy's backline. Assassins' abilities can critically strike, and they gain bonus critical strike chance and bonus critical strike damage. All that good jazz. Okay. You guys know how this trait works. No need to go crazy on those guys. Bodyguards. Bodyguards have increased armor shortly after combat begins. Bodyguard taunt adjacent enemies, forcing them to attack the bodyguard. Pretty cool. Lots of armor added on. Gotta love it. Alrighty. Bruiser. This is basically the brawler of this set. Gains bonus health for being a bruiser. Gotta love it. 150, 300, 500, 900. These numbers can change. We'll see how that ends up being a thing. But Challenger. Challengers get bonus attack speed upon scoring a takedown. Challengers dash to the new target and double this bonus for 2.5 seconds. Pretty cool. Attack speed's like crazy, and all these champs look like they go crazy with attack speed, so this will be a fun one to play for sure. All right, Colossus. This is what I was talking about with each one of these units take up 2 champions, okay? Colossus are bigger, more powerful, and immune to crowd control effects. However, each Colossus requires 2 team slots. Pretty crazy. All right, go to 2, and Colossus champions take 25% less damage. Putting in Shogath Galio, one of my favorites. Alright, I ran a few carry comps with those guys, and my gosh, it is fun. Enchanter! Your team have bonus magic resist. Enchanters gain bonus healing and shielding. Pretty cool stuff. Not too much magic resists. Curious how well this whole bonus healing / shielding actually does. That'll be interesting to see. But Innovator. Innovators build a mechanical champion, join the battle. I cannot wait to see all of these, okay? Got a mechanical scarab, mechanical bear, and a mechanical dragon. My gosh. Okay, Protector. Protectors shield themselves for 4 seconds whenever they cast their ability. The shield doesn't stack. Unfortunately, you can't stack it like crazy. Get the fattest shield imaginable. But gotta love Protectors. I know they were back in set 3, I think it was. One of my all-time favorite sets. So, who remembers Xin Zhao Rakan back in the day, dude? That's a throwback. That's a throwback. Scholar. Your team gains 2 mana every 2 seconds. Pretty cool stuff. Curious how gaining mana over a certain period of time is going to change how things happen. Considering they're not like Invoker from the previous set where you gain more attacks per auto attack. Now it's just per second, which could benefit a lot of slow attacking champions. So that'll be cool to see how this all fits in and whatnot. Sniper. Snipers deal bonus damage for each hex between themselves and their target. Pretty cool stuff. Bonus damage. This is going to add up quickly considering it's each hex between themselves and their target. So, champions that are far away are getting sniped out of their mind. Jin's new ability is awesome. You'll love it. We'll dive into that soon. Okay. Twin Shot. When a Twin Shot attacks, they have a chance to attack twice instead. Pretty cool stuff. Imagine 6 where you're just double attacking everything. Yo, that with 2.5 attack speed must be crazy. Or 5.0, does that mean it's going to be 10 attacks per second? That's going to be so sweet. Anyways, let's start off looking at, or let's start by looking into champions now. Starting with the tier 1s and going on down. But Caitlyn takes aim to the furthest enemy, finding a deadly bullet towards them, dealing a large amount of damage. It's magical damage to the first enemy hit. Alright, this will be fun to mess around with. Gotta love Caitlyn. She was in a previous set, same ability, all that good jazz. Ace in the hole, gotta love it. Camille. Camille gains a shield, blocking 250 damage over 4 seconds, then sweeps her leg, dealing 150 magical damage to enemies in a cone. While this shield holds, Camille's attacks restore 30 health. Pretty interesting. Pretty all over the place. Lots of stuff scaling with AP. Making a carry Camille might be similar to like a Yasuo in a previous set. Who knows how this champion's going to go or what the heck build path there is. Paired with Augments, it's going to be wild. But Darius swings his axe in a circle, dealing X amount of magical damage and heals himself for X health per enemy hit. Pretty cool stuff. Make sure lots of people are around him to maximize his potential. Okay. Ezreal. I forgot I should be talking about what classes they are as well, because that's huge. But Ezreal fires a missile at his target, dealing 150 of his attack damage plus 40 bonus physical damage. Add it all up. Check this out. If his missile hits, he grants himself 25% bonus stacking attack speed up to 225% at 5 stacks. So hopefully he hits his Q, or else he's not getting that bonus. And come later on in the rounds, his attack speed's going nuts. But Scrap plus Innovator. This is the one that you build that mechanical dragon. Pretty cool stuff. I want to see how that ends up going. Garen. Okay, Academy plus a Protector. Garen shrugs off all crowd control effects, empowering his next strike to deal 200% of his attack damage plus an additional 20% of his missing health and bonus physical damage. Pretty cool stuff. This ability can be cast while stunned. Ooh, that's awesome. All right. Graves, Academy plus Twin Shot. Double autos are going to be awesome. Can't wait to see that. But Graves launches a smoke grenade towards his current target. The grenade explodes on impact, dealing X amount of magical damage to nearby enemies and disarms enemies who remain within the smoke cloud for 2 seconds. That's going to be awesome. Duration scales up. Damage not so high. I'm throwing a freaking Spear of Sojourn on this guy. That smoke cloud seems so annoying for enemies. Alawi. Mercenary plus a Bruiser. Mercenary is the one where you're getting gold from. All that good jazz. But Alawi slams her target, linking your soul to it for 5 seconds and dealing X amount of magical damage. When linked, Alawi is healed for 30% of the damage taken by her target. So interesting. Alawi is healed for 30% of the damage taken by her target. Okay, gotcha. Pretty cool stuff. Gonna be annoying to 1v1, I'll tell you that much. Alright, Casadino. I really missed the old Cassadin where he would just have empowered auto attacks and steal mana as he would auto. But this one's alright, I guess, too. Cassadin fires an orb of void energy at his target, dealing X amount of magical damage and granting Cassadin a shield that reduces incoming damage by 30% for 4 seconds. Enemies hit by the orb suffer a 35% increased mana cost for their next ability cast. So, Cassadin still draining mana. It's just with his ability this time. And the whole 4-second thing is going to slow down him getting mana while it's on cooldown. So I might hate Cassadin. We'll have to play him to see him to find on out. But, oh my gosh, the extra mana scales. Dude, Cassadin hitting someone with a 65% extra mana cost is disgusting. Going against a tier 3 Cassadin is not going to be fun, let me tell you. Alright, Poppy, another tier 1. Poppy throws her buckler at the furthest enemy. You guys know how Poppy works, dealing 2% of her armor and magic resist damage. Oh. Poppy, Yordle and Bodyguard. Poppy throws her buckler at the furthest enemy, dealing 200% of her. Poppy, another tier 1, a part of the Yordle and Bodyguard family. Okay. Buckler toss. Poppy throws her buckler at the furthest enemy, dealing 200% of her armor as magical damage. Dude, scaling with armor, that's going to be so sweet. The buckler then bounces back, granting Poppy a shield that blocks X amount of damage. Super cool stuff. I cannot wait to see that. It scales up to a whole lot of armor up here. Oh my gosh. Dude, full on Bodyguard. Get a lot of armor. Poppy's the carry. I'm calling it now. Singed, another tier 1, part of the Innovator Chemtech family. Okay, Singed flings a nearby enemy towards the largest cluster of enemies, stunning his target for 1.5 seconds. When they land, all adjacent enemies take extra damage and are briefly stunned. Ooh, added in some CC on top of Singed. Dude, I miss Singed running around with poison. I think that was one of my favorite Singed. Tier 5 Poison Man with a Morello. Oof, that champion slapped. But wild cards. Twisted Fate throws 3 cards in a cone that deal X amount of damage to each enemy they pass through. Pretty plain and simple. We know how he works. Twitch is actually an assassin and a chemtech. Him jumping to the backline and being in range is pretty cool. Twitch fires a powerful bolt towards his target that pierces through enemies, dealing X amount of attack damage as physical damage. Okay, add it up there, and reduces healing by 50% for 5 seconds. This guy is going to be a very interesting and worth 1 cost. Lowering healing from abilities is always so nice to have in your team comp, let me tell ya. Ziggs, not like other Ziggs we've seen in previous sets, okay? Ziggs hurls a bomb at his target. After a moderate delay, the bomb lands, dealing X amount of magical damage to the enemy in the epicenter and half to adjacent enemies. So, throw a bomb on him. Everyone around him will take damage as well. That's why the mana cost is much higher than previous sets. 60 is pretty high for our boy Ziggs. Okay, we're on to tier 2s. Scrap, Protector, Bodyguard. There's actually a lot of champions that utilize 3 different traits in this set, which is pretty interesting. Okay, Blitzcrank pulls his furthest enemy, dealing X amount of magical damage and stunning them for 1.5 seconds. His next attack knocks them up for 1 second. Allies within 1 range will prefer attacking Blitzcrank's target. Pretty cool stuff. Nice targeting. Blitzcrank's back, baby. Katarina, part of the Academy plus Assassin family. I love running this Katarina. I've played her a few carry games so far. Katarina blinks behind the enemy with the lowest health within 3 hexes and slashes all adjacent enemies, dealing X amount of magical damage. Katarina gains 20 mana for each enemy killed by Shampoo. Blue buff plus a kill equals reset, which is awesome. Maybe blue buff is overkill if you're going to a tier 3 because you get that extra 40 bonus mana, which is nuts. Kog'Maw with another triple trait champion. Mutant Sniper Twin Shot. Pretty cool stuff. For 3 seconds, Kog'Maw gains infinite attack range, 80% attack speed, and his attacks deal 4% of the target's maximum health as bonus magical damage. Craziness. This is why they fixed Hurricane, not to deal on-hit effects, or else Kog'Maw would literally melt the world. Okay, pretty cool stuff. He's going to be fun to play. Yordle plus Enchanter. Lulu enlarges 1 low health ally, granting them X amount of health and knocking up nearby enemies near them. If the ally is already enlarged, they are healed instead. Pretty cool stuff. Number of targets go up with the more levels. Gotta love some Lulu in the mix. Alright, I like this version of Lulu a lot. Quinn, a mercenary plus challenger. Quinn sends Valor out to the target with the highest attack speed, dealing X amount of magical damage to the target and nearby enemies. The main target is disarmed for 2.5 seconds. That goes up, damage goes up. Pretty cool stuff. Swain, got the 2 classes right here. Death Hand. Swain unleashes piercing bolts of Eldritch power in a cone towards his target, dealing X amount of magical damage to enemies within and healing Swain for X amount of damage per hit. Or X amount of enemy per hit. Pretty cool stuff. Damage healing both scale. Gotta love it. This dude's going to be able to carry it real hard. Okay. Talon, Imperial plus Assassin. Blade's End. Passive. Talon's first attack on an enemy causes them to bleed for, this is interesting, it scales with AP, for 550 magical damage over 7 seconds. Every 3rd attack on a target applies an additional bleed. So interesting how this is going to work. Maybe like you want to build AP, but can you get them to switch targets? I'm so confused how this works. If you could just go stab everyone, that'd be amazing. Go full AP and stab, stabbity, stab. That'd be cool. Yordle Tristana. Tristana, Yordle Sniper, Buster Shot. Tristana fires a massive cannonball towards your target, dealing 200% of her attack damage, plus 100 physical damage to the first enemy hit. If the target is within 2 hexes of Tristana, they are knocked back 1 hex and briefly stunned. Pretty cool, pretty interesting ability. Unfortunately, this one can miss. So, hopefully we'll see how that one goes. But knocking people back as a sniper will help you deal more overall damage. And it takes time for them to rerun at you, which is pretty cool. Which is definitely something people are going to overlook. But Tristana seems promising. Trundle. Chompity chomp, baby. Trundle bites his target, dealing 175% of his attack damage and reduces the target's movement speed by 50% for 3 seconds. Each bite also steals 20 attack damage for the rest of combat. Yo, that's cool. And it scales with AP. Oh my gosh. How are you going to build these champions? I don't even know what to think right now. All right, Scrap plus the Bruiser, Brawler, whatever you want to call it. Pretty cool stuff. Oh, another triple unit champion or trait champion. They're everywhere. Lots of the set. But Denting Blow. Vi empowers her next attack to blast through her target, dealing 350 magical damage to all enemies in a cone and reducing their armor by 40% for 8 seconds. Pretty cool stuff. Pretty plain and simple. With that sister combo, though, this is going to get real interesting. Warwick, a Chemtech Challenger. Passive. Warwick's attacks deal an additional 6% of his target's current health as bonus magical damage and heal him for 25 health. I was going to say 25% health, but no, that'd be a little much. Scaling with AP, Rage Blade's going to be amazing. Challenger bonus plus Chemtech. This guy's going to be so annoying to kill. He's going to be like Olaf 2.0 from last set. I'm excited to see how well this guy does. Zyra. Zyra summons vines in a row with the most enemies, dealing 300 magical damage and stunning them for 1.5 seconds. Pretty cool stuff. Grasping of spines. Gotta like it. Gotta love it. Alright. Interesting ability, though. Once you see it in game, you'll be like, oh, not what I was expecting, but pretty cool stuff. Zillion. Clockwork plus Innovator. Zillion places a bomb on the closest enemy, stunning them for 1.5 seconds. When the stun ends or the target dies, the bomb explodes, dealing 250 magical damage to adjacent enemies and reducing their attack speed by 20% for 3 seconds. Pretty cool stuff. Attack speed reduction scales up, stun duration scales up. Pretty cool stuff. We'll see how good Zillion is damage-wise. Probably won't be that good, but the stun's amazing. My favorite champion, Cho'Gath. Yes, please, dude. I cannot wait to make so many champions on this video. He's probably going to be the champion that we make the most videos on, hands down. Cho'Gath devours the lowest health enemy within range, dealing X amount of magical damage. If this kills the target, Cho'Gath gains a stack of Feast. Up to 10. Each stack of Feast permanently grants 2% bonus health and size. Check this out. The more you level them, the more stacks you can have. The more stacks you can have, the crazier things will get. I cannot wait to make this guy an absolute monster. Echo, Scrap plus an Assassin. Okay, parallel convergence. Echo invokes an after image that blasts a device towards the largest group of units. Upon landing, it deals X amount of magical damage to enemies within and applies 35% reduced attack speed for 4 seconds. Allies inside gain 50% attack speed for 4 seconds. Scaling all over the board here. Pretty interesting. Pretty cool stuff. We'll see how useful that champion is. Okay, seems more of like a buffer more than anything else, but who knows how itemizing will go. But Gangplank attacks his target with his gun, dealing 150% of his attack damage plus 120 bonus physical damage. Total it on up, you get what you get. And if this attack kills a champion, Gangplank plunders 1 gold. I cannot wait to become a gold farmer with this Gangplank. That's going to be fun. All right, Mercenary plus Twin Shot. We'll see how that one goes. But he already sounds so much fun. Heimerdingdong, part of the Yordle family. Innovator and Scholar. Pretty cool stuff. I forget what Scholar was, but we'll see what that is down the road. Heimerdinger fires a wave of 5 rockets that converge onto his target, each dealing 60 magical damage to the first target they hit. Every third cast, Heimerdinger summons 3 waves instead. Really curious to see how this works. I hate this ability in normal League of Legends. Maybe it'll be better in TFT. Who the heck knows? But Leona, a tier 3 tank. Hasn't she always been a tier 1 in the past or something? I swear to God. But Leona calls down a beacon of light upon herself, granting herself 500 shield for 4 seconds. Leona and allies within 2 hexes gain 30 armor and magic resist for the same duration. Pretty cool stuff. Interesting to see how that one goes. Maybe they'll end up changing her around. Who the heck knows? All right, she like stuns herself with her ultimate. League of Legends wise doesn't make sense. TFT wise makes sense. and then buffing up units around her. Maybe you put her in the back with a rapid fire. Who knows? Probably not. But anyways, moving on. Lysandra. Lysandra encases her target in an Iron Maiden, stunning them for 1.5 seconds and dealing X amount of magical damage to enemies within a large area. Damage from the Iron Maiden reduces enemies' attack damage by 40% for 5 seconds. Pretty cool stuff. If Lysandra is below 50% health, she encases herself instead, dealing damage to surrounding enemies and becoming untargetable and invulnerable for 2 seconds. This Lysandra is so broken. Having your ability do multiple things when you want it to happen, she becomes so strong. A Hextech Gunblade on this champion goes such a long way. You're going to see what I'm talking about. All right. Love that this Lysandra's back. Mutant plus Arcanist. Alrighty. So, Malzahar, tier 3 unit, Mutant plus Arcanist. Malefic Visions. Malzahar injects into the mind of the closest unafflicted target, dealing X amount of magical damage over 8 seconds and reducing the magic resist of enemies by 40%. If an inflicted target dies, Malefic Visions spread to the nearest 1 unafflicted targets with the remaining duration. So, this is going to get added on, and Malzahar is going to poison everyone around him. It's going to spread if they die, and this one ability could kill the entire team. This, super fed with a mega tank so the round doesn't end, could be the move. We'll see how crazy that gets. All right? Excited to tier 3 Malzahar and make him a carry, that's for sure. Misfortune, make it rain. Misfortune rains 4 waves of bullets down around a random enemy, dealing X amount of magical damage to enemies in the area and reducing their incoming healing by 50% for 6 seconds. Pretty cool stuff, pretty basic. We've seen this MF before. Sniper plus mercenary combo. Gotta love it. Ooh, this is where things are wild. Samira, part of the Imperial plus Challenger traits. Okay, if a target is adjacent to Samira, she slashes with her blade in a cone towards them, dealing 150% of her attack damage and physical damage to all enemies within and reducing their armor by 10. This armor reduction can stack. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Otherwise, she fires an empowered shot at her target with the same effect and gains 20 mana. Really curious to see how well Samira does. We'll see in-game, much easier to understand. But Shaco's back, baby. Syndicate plus Assassin. This is going to be a wild one. I know this champion can carry big time. Shaco dips into the shadows, briefly becoming untargetable. His next attack instead deals 2 of his attack damage plus 75% as physical damage, or 75 damage that scales with AP as physical damage, and guarantees to critically strike below targets below 50% health. Interesting, interesting, interesting. All right. Figuring out how to itemize this guy will be interesting as all heck too. But Taric, hello, my friend. He's back. Taric, Starlight Bastion. Taric heals himself and the lowest health ally for 200. Any overhealing is considered to converted to a shield that lasts for 4 seconds. The fact that there's overheal involved and still gets utilized is going to make Taric very, very useful, let me tell you. All right. Vex, pretty cool frontline champion. I actually loved playing her. Personal space. Vex shields herself against 500 damage over 4 seconds. Scales with AP. When the shield expires, it deals X amount of damage to all allies within 2 hexes and an additional damage if it wasn't destroyed. Wow. Pretty cool stuff. Getting that shield stacked on up sounds pretty freaking good. If it was destroyed, personal space becomes 25% stronger this combat. This effect can stack. Yo! Do you want the shield to break or not? What's going on here? You get benefits for both? That's awesome. Alright, Vex is going to be super fun. And Zac attack. Yoink! I like that ability. Zac stretches his arms up to 3 hexes to pull the 2 most distant enemies towards him, dealing X amount of magical damage. Zac takes 60% less damage while using this ability. That's a lot. I like Yoink. Brom, Vault Breaker. Brom slams his vault door into the ground, creating a fissure towards his target. Enemies within 2 hexes of Brom and those struck by the fissure are stunned for 2 seconds and take X amount of magical damage. Stun duration goes up the more you level. Hot dog. You're probably not going to be tier 3 in this Brom, but if you do, Lots of stuns and damage going down, but like I said, probably not going to happen. We're into the tier 4s now. Blade Waltz. Okay, Fiora becomes untargetable and strikes 4 times at her target's vitals. Each strike deals 200% of her attack damage as physical damage, bonus true damage, and heals her for 15% of the total damage dealt. If her target dies, Fiora will change targets to the nearest enemy. Okay, this champion's going to be slashing and dashing, going absolutely wild, especially with the challenger trait. She wild. Janna, Scrap Enchanter plus Scholar. Monsoon. Janna summons a Monsoon, knocking back nearby enemies and stunning them for 1 second. This Monsoon heals you for X amount of health over 3 seconds. Alright? This paired with snipers is going to be sick because you push them back, snipers get more range, they get more damage. Bada bing, bada boo. I like that. Speaking of snipers, we got the coolest one of them all, baby. Clockwork plus Sniper, Jhin. No more 4th shot, but Curtain Call. Jhin transforms his weapon into a powerful sniper rifle for the next 4 shots. Each shot deals X amount of his attack damage as physical damage, reduced by 33% for each target it pierces through. The 4th shot is guaranteed to critically strike and deals 100% more bonus damage on his target's missing health. So it's just like League of Legends, works very similar. Passive. Jhin always attacks 1.9 times per second. He converts 1% of his bonus attack speed into 0.8 AD. I cannot wait to run attack speed buffers on this dude. That's going to be so sick. Each tier 4 champion is so unique and has their own form. They wanted to give all these tier 4 champions such unique identities, and I think they're doing that very well. Okay. After gathering energy, Lux fires a beam towards the furthest enemy target, dealing X amount of magical damage. If she kills a unit within her beam, she gains 30 mana. Bruh. If she gets a double kill, she's insta-casting again. Imagine a fed Lux just round over. So sick. She's going to be getting some nerfs for sure. Okay. Dr. Mundo, we got a long one. Chemtech, Mutant Bruiser. Gotta love it. Zapdos, Dr. Mundo injects himself with medicine, restoring 20% of his maximum health and becoming energized for 8 seconds. While energized, he restores an additional 60% of his maximum health over this duration and deals X amount of magical damage to a random nearby enemy each second. When the medicine expires, Dr. Mundo expels a burst of electricity that deals 20% of his current health as magical damage to all enemies within 2 hexes. So, think of this W in League of Legends. If you guys play that game, you can be able to visualize this. If you don't, probably seems very interesting or hard to understand, but don't worry. Once you see it in game, pretty similar, or pretty easy, not too bad. Oreo, Command Shockwave, baby. Orianna sends her balls towards the largest group of champions, then commands it to release a shockwave. Allies within 2 hexes gain a shield for 4 seconds, while enemies within the area are briefly knocked up and dealt X amount of damage. Enemies adjacent to the ball are drawn in and stunned for 1.5 seconds. Pretty cool stuff. Curious how the shield along with this is going to be going, but sounds interesting. Sounds very interesting. Seraphine, baby. Sorry. Seraphine. Alright. Encore. Seraphine projects her song towards the largest group of units. The song deals X amount of magical damage to enemies and reduces their attack speed by 35% for 4 seconds. Allies it passes through are healed for X amount of health and gain 30% attack speed for 4 seconds. Interesting. Lots of beams going across the map. You'll see Yumi's in a second. But the first Colossus champion we're going to be looking at, or sorry, second. We passed over Cho'Gath. I love all Colossus champions. All right. I don't care that they take up 2 units. They're awesome. All right. Sion winds up for a moment, then smashes his axe down. All enemies within a large area are knocked up and stunned for 1 second, and dealt 375 magical damage. Okay. Sun duration scales up. Colossal unit. Gotta love Sion. They should give this guy permanent stacking as well, dude. Just make all Colossus champions broken, please. Urgato, Purge, part of the Chemtech Twin Shot family. For the next 5 seconds, Urgat's attacks the closest enemy at a fixed rate of 5 attacks per second. Each attack deals X amount of physical damage. The ability's damage scales with the attack damage and attack speed. Pretty cool stuff. Urgot will probably be able to carry pretty hard too. Yone, Academy and a Challenger. Soul Unbound. Yone summons his spirit to attack an enemy up to 3 hexes away for 4 seconds. The spirit is untargetable, invulnerable, copy of Yone, and heals him for 40% of the damage it deals. If Yone dies, his spirit dies with him. Yo, this is pretty freaking dope. Scales with AP, deals a lot of AD. Crazy champion. We'll see how well this champion does in game. I smell nerfs coming. All right. Akali, moving on to the tier 5s. Akali dashes in a line towards the most enemies, dealing X amount of magical damage and marking them for 7 seconds. When marked, a target drops below 50% health. Akali dashes through them, dealing X amount of magical damage to enemies she passes through and executes the marked target. No wonder this champion's a tier 5 unit. That sounds ridiculous. Okay. Colossus entrance. Gotta love it. Galio, welcome to the crew. Galio, another triple trait unit. Pretty interesting. Colossus entrance. Galio becomes invulnerable and leaps into the sky before crashing down on the largest group of enemies. Enemies within a large radius takes X amount of magical damage and are knocked up into the sky. The lower the enemy's maximum health is compared to Galio's, the further they are knocked up. That's pretty freaking sweet. Passive, Galio's critical strike slams the ground, dealing X amount of magical damage to enemies around his target. Pretty cool stuff. Extra damage on top. This guy's gonna be sweet. Jace, another triple trait unit. Pretty cool stuff. Jace overcharges himself, becoming unstoppable and gaining a X health shield for 3 seconds. Jace then attacks twice, cleaving enemies in front of him for 225% of his attack damage as physical damage before leaping to the skis and slamming down on his target. Enemies within 2 hexes take the same damage and suffer a 50% reduction in armor and magic resist for 5 seconds. Passive, Jace gains 50 armor and magic resist. Oh, that's pretty cool stuff. Wow. So remember, melee in the front, range in the back. Jace is going to be so cool to mess around with. And here's the ranged Jace we were talking about. So if you backline him, Jace summons an accelerator gate, granting allies within the same row 60% attack speed for 5 seconds. He then replaces his next 3 attacks with orbs of electricity that deal 170% of his attack damage as physical damage in an area around his target. The third orb has an increased area of effect. Passive, Jace's range is increased by 4 hexes and he gains 20 attack damage. Dude, this champion does it all, man. Gotta love me some Jace. Wow. Jinx, believe it or not, surprise, surprise, another triple trait cost unit. Pretty cool stuff. Super Mega Death Rocket. Jinx rides a rocket into the sky, then comes crashing down near the centermost enemy, dealing 500 magical damage to enemies around the epicenter and 50% to all other enemies in a large area. The epicenter burns every unit except Jinx for 5 seconds, dealing 2% of the target's maximum health as true damage and reduces healing for 50% for the duration. She then swaps to a rocket launcher, then for the rest of combat, causing her attacks to explode for 200% of her attack damage in a small area around her target. Dude, this champion, like, recalls, that's the animation, jumps into all of them, goes in rocket form, starts going crazy. I don't even know what to think about this champion. What if she just goes melee range and dies? Or is it the most broken thing ever? Who knows? Okay, but this champion is wild, let me tell you. Kaiser, Mutant plus Challenger. Kaiser dashes away from all enemies, then fires a volley of 15 missiles spread evenly amongst all enemies that deal X amount of magical damage to each. For each time Kaiser has attacked this combat, she will fire an additional missile. Dude, she literally nukes the entire map and it looks wild. Tom Cookie Kush, baby, this is what we saw earlier. Tom Kench devours his target, soaring them into his belly, dealing X amount of magical damage over 3 seconds. During this time, they are invulnerable to other sources of damage, and Tom takes 40% less damage. If they die while inside, Tahm Kench either spits out a random component they were holding or the cost of the unit in gold. Otherwise, he spits them out, turns the farthest enemy, briefly stunning his target on impact. Yo, that sounds fire. I love that. Give me some free components or gold. Don't mind if I do. Dude, the mercenary trait, so much fun to mess around with, it seems like. Wow. Anyways, Chaos Rays from Victor. This champion goes wild. Victor summons multiple singularities that fire death rays, which cut across the battlefield in a line and melt enemies' defenses. The enemies caught in the path, death rays deal X amount of magical damage, destroy 25% of the remaining shields, and reduces the armor by 40% armor shred for 6 seconds. You're shredding armor, lasers everywhere, lots of people dying. You got to see this champion in action to get a full grasp of what's going down, okay? The more you level, the more lasers you get. Wowzer, I can't wait to see a tier 3 Victor, dude. That's going to be so much fun to mess around with. Yuumi and Book detach and launch 4 waves towards the furthest enemy, each dealing X amount of magical damage and stunning enemies for 0.75 seconds. She then attaches to the nearest ally. So, very annoying because she's hard to kill. She has a stun and throws waves out that stun people. Yep, this is going to be hard to deal with. Moving on. Let's see what it looks like in action, shall we? Here's Yuumi. Attaches. Gain the shield. She's gaining mana per second she's on an ally. Hops off. Let the stuns fly. More shield for days, and I gotta sneeze. This is... Next up, the Yordle Lord. You cannot forget about this guy. But Veigar calls down 20 Fury Horns over a few seconds near random enemies, each dealing X amount of magical damage. Literally just starts raining W's down on everyone. Alright? Wild champion. 3-star your Yordles and have a lot of fun. Alright? Ooh, this is the mechanical scarab, a part of the family where you start making things happen. But the scarab creates a barrier on itself and ally targeted by the most enemies, then taunts all enemies who have the scarab within its attack range, forcing them to attack the scarab. The barrier lasts for 4 seconds, reduces incoming damage by 25%, and the enemies attacking the barrier take X amount of magical damage. Enemies may only take damage from the barrier once per second. Pretty cool stuff. That guy's going to come in handy. Let's talk about the Tibbers, baby. The bear, the mechanical bear. The bear surges with power, gaining 100% bonus attack damage and granting X amount of attack speed for 4 seconds to your team. Ooh. Attack speeding up the team. I like that. But the mechanical dragon. The dragon lands and lets out a bellowing roar, causing all enemies within 3 hexes to flee for 3 seconds. Your team is energized and gains 50% critical strike chance and 50% critical strike damage for 3 seconds. The passive is every 3rd attack is charged with lightning, dealing X amount of magical damage to 3 enemies. Dude, this dragon is going to carry people hard. I'm excited. Alright, moving on to augments. Oh my gosh, there are so many of them. So, remember, you get one early game, you get one mid game, you get one late game. You get offered 3 of them, and they have over, I think, 120 different augments, something crazy like that. Let's dive into all of them. I'm so excited for this. We'll start with the tier 1s and move on down. Calculated loss. After losing your combat, gain 2 gold and a free shop refresh. So, you get rewarded for losing, which is pretty interesting. Loss streaking with this could snowball real hard. I guess you're not going to be losing that much because you get a free shop refresh, but interesting stuff. Curious how popular this one will be. Dominance. After winning your combat, gain 1 bonus gold for every 2 surviving units. Dude, if you snowball with this bad boy, that's going to be nuts. Alright, Hyper Roll. If you have less than 10 gold at the end of a round, gain 3 gold. This is so sweet if you get mid-game because you can spend all your gold on leveling up and then you're higher level than everyone, getting a pretty decent amount of gold, and you rolled all the way down in terms of how much gold you got going. I think this one is very underrated. All right, wise spending. Gain 1 experience point when you refresh your shop. Super cool stuff. Get to reroll while leveling. Nuts. Binary airdrop. Your units equipped with 2 items temporarily gain a random completed item at the start of combat. Really random, pretty cool, sure. Item grab bag 1. Okay, gain 1 random component item and reforge. I don't like ones that are just like a one and done type deal, so not the biggest fan of this one, but hey, sometimes I might grab the bag, who knows. Phony frontline, gain 2 target dummies. This one's very underrated. Ran it in some of the games I've played so far, and it is oh so nice. All right, especially if you're trying to run a very strong backline when it's hard to frontline some champions. Pandora's items. Okay, gain a random component at the start of each turn. Items on your bench are randomized, excluding Force of Nature, Spatula, and consumables. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Ascension. After 15 seconds of combat, your units deal 100% more damage. What? Yo, if you run this with the Mega Tank frontline, this could be so nasty. I love that. Build different. Your units with no traits active gain 200 health and 30% attack speed. What? This is definitely going to be a built different team comp. Wow, that seems out of this world. Celestial Blessing. Your units heal for 10% of the damage dealt by attacks and abilities. Excess healing is converted into a shield up to 300. I actually really like this one. Alright, just because everyone's benefiting no matter what, even if you're full HP, you're still getting that shield, which is going to come in clutch later on. Alright, Knife's Edge 1. Your units that start combat in the front 2 rows gain 30 attack damage. We're just going to frontline everyone. Don't play snipers, run this, go crazy. Alrighty. Cybernetic Implants. Your units equipped with an item gain 300 health and 20 attack damage. Cybernetics are back, baby. Exiles 1. Your units that start combat with no adjacent allies gain a 40% maximum health shield for 8 seconds. Wow, pretty cool stuff. Featherweights 1. Your 1 and 2 cost units gain 40% move speed and attack speed. I actually am loving the move speed buffs that are given recently. I think they're so cool. First Aid Kit. All healing and shielding received by your units is increased by 35%. Ooh, pretty cool stuff there. Makeshift Armor. Your units with no items gain 30 armor and magic resist. I actually like this one a lot. I do. It's going to make champions that you think are useless not so useless. And it'll give you a bunch of free tanks if you're not itemizing your front line. Scoped Weapons. Okay, double the hex range of your ranged units and their attacks cannot miss. Bro, what? This is old rapid fire cannon to literally everyone, and it's a tier 1 augment. This set is going to be wild. Alright? Stand United. Your units gain 3 attack damage and ability power per trait active across your team. Pretty cool stuff. If you spread your comp thin, then this could be one for you. Thrill of the Hunt. Your units heal 300 health on a kill. I absolutely love this one. Gives you healing when you don't have it, and your champions that are getting the kills are probably the ones that might need heals. So, yeah. Especially if you're not just have a backline carry that dies at the end. If you have someone getting into the mix, into the nitty gritty, like a bruiser, brawler, whatever you want to call it, or like more of a bruiser, someone melee range getting kills, this is going to be massive for them. Massive. Underdogs. Whenever your team has fewer units alive than your opponent, your units regenerate 15% of their missing health every second. I loved running this when I wasn't going crazy on levels and I had few units in, because 15% of their missing health every second is nuts. Absolutely nuts. Weak Spot. Your unit's attacks ignore 25% of the target's armor and reduces healing by 50% for 10 seconds. Yo, that's anti-healing galore. I love that. Academy Heart. Your team counts as having 1 additional academy. Arcanist Heart, same thing. 1 more for the Arcanist. Gotta love it. I'm sure it's going to keep going down the line. Just kidding. No, it doesn't. Runic Shield. Arcanists start combat with a shield equal to 400% of their ability power. Whoa! Throw on some death caps. Who knows what's going to happen there? Assassin Heart. Gain the Assassin bonus. Pretty cool stuff. Cutthroat. Assassins mana reave the first unit they attack, increasing their mana, maximum mana by 65% until they cast. Yo, That's going to annoy a lot of people, especially assassins jumping to the back line, hitting those carriers who actually have to cast their ability. That's going to be annoying for the people who actually get this when they're running assassins. Smoke bomb. The first time assassins drop below 60% health, they briefly enter stealth, becoming untargetable and shredding all negative effects. Pretty cool stuff. Very annoying. Bodyguard heart. Gain 1 bodyguard. Gotta love that. Stand behind me. At the start of combat, bodyguards grant 100% of their armor bonus to non-bodyguard allies directly behind them. Does not stack. Bruiser heart. Gain another bruiser. Gotta love that. Shrug it off. Bruisers regenerate 2% of their maximum health each second. Yo. These guys are going to become unkillable. Challenger heart. Gain the challenger. En garde. I probably said that wrong. The first time an enemy is attacked by a challenger, they are disarmed for 4 seconds. Yo! Spread out your team comp. This is going to be going nuts. Let me tell you. Chemical Overload 1. Chemtechs explode on death, dealing 50% of their maximum health as magical damage to enemies within 2 hexes. What? Your whole team's just going to be nuking the map, dude. That's going to be crazy. Chemtech heart, gotta love that. Clockwork heart, know what that is. Enchanter heart, know what that is. Enforcer, yada yada. Imperial, all for 1. When an ally dies, they grant the tyrant 25% of their maximum health. Yo, that's pretty cool. Innovator heart, that one helps a lot. Self-repair, when the innovation dies, it becomes untargetable and repair itself as an innovator is still alive. If an innovator is still alive. What? That's crazy. It becomes untargetable and repair itself. This is too good. There's no way it works the way I'm thinking it works. Huh. Anyways. Mercenary heart. Gain 1 mercenary. Pirates. Mercenary units have 50% chance to drop 1 gold when they kill an enemy. Dude, please let me run this team comp now. It is going to be so much fun. Gold raining everywhere. Alright, Mutant heart, know what that does? Unstoppable evolution. Mutants randomly gain one of the following when they reach 2 stars. 500 health, 35% attack speed, 35% attack damage, 35 ability power. These bonuses stack. Yo, I like that. Protector heart, lifelong learning. Scholars that survive combat permanently gain 3 ability power. Dude, I love this. Those long ones make it so fun. Scholar heart, yep. Scrap heart, yep. Tinker. Every 1 combat rounds with scrap alive, gain a magnetic remover and reforge. Yo, that's gonna be fun to mess around with. Wow. Sniper's Nest. Snipers gain 8% damage per round they've started combat in the same hex. So if you don't move your board around, this one's going to be perfect for you. Getting free damage sounds nice. Sniper heart, know what that is. Ooh, summon 1 additional spotlight. That's pretty cool. So that class that summons that spotlight that buffs up people, you get 2 of them. Pretty cool stuff. More hearts, 1 for all. When your syndicate dies, they grant you other syndicates 20 attack damage and ability power. Gotta love it. So small. I've ran this one. Yordles gain 35% dodge chance. My gosh. Rich get richer. We're moving on to tier 2 augments. Gain 10 gold. Your maximum interest is increased to 7. So cool. High roller. Gain 2 loaded dice. Not the biggest fan of this one, but I'm sure it's really practical come late game when you're looking to finish off your 3 stars and whatnot. Ancient Archives. Gain 1 Tome of Traits. Tomes are so good, I'm probably going to be picking this one quite a bit. Clear Mind. If you have no units on your bench at the end of a round, gain 4 experience points. Bro! That sounds so wild. What? I'm so curious if this is the best one or worst one in the game. Who knows? High-end shopping. Champions appear in your shop as if you were 1 level higher. If you get this and go to level 9, yes, you have level 10 roll odds on what to get, which is craziness. All right. Woodland Charm. At the start of combat, your highest health champion creates a 1,500 health copy of themselves, excluding items. What? This is wild. All right. March of Progress. Gain 4 bonus experience points per round. You can no longer use gold to gain experience points. Yo, what? That's wild. Hey, good way to save money on not spending gold on experience points. Interesting stuff. Trade sector, gain a free shop refresh every round. I love this one because it lets you focus on experience and gives you a whole lot of rerolls to work with. All right, you make your gold back big time. Sunfire board. At the start of combat, burn all enemies for 40% of their maximum HP over 16 seconds and reduce healing by 50%. This is nuts. Wait, that's so good. Metabolic Accelerator. Your tactician moves faster and heals 2 health at the start of each round. That's your little guy. You gain 2 health per round. They're finally making it so you can finally get health back in the game. I love that. All right. Salvage bin. Gain a random component item. Selling champions breaks apart their full items into components, excluding force of nature. Yo, this, I was wanting them to add it in for so long. I love it, dude. Item placeholders with this are going to be so sick. Knife's Edge 2. Your units that start combat in the first 2 rows, now they gain 45 attack damage. Pretty cool stuff. Cybernetic Implants 2. Your units equipped with an item gain 450 HP and 30 attack damage. Exiles 2. Your units that start combat with no adjacent allies gain a 60% maximum health shield for 8 seconds. Featherweight 2. Getting even stronger. Your 1 and 2 cost units gain 60% move speed and attack speed. Built different 2. Your units with no traits active gain 300 health and 45% attack speed. Stand United 2. Your units gain 4 attack damage and ability power per trait active across your team. Titanic Force. Your units with more than 1200 maximum health gain attack damage equal to 4% of their maximum health. I ran this with Cho'Gath and he was consuming, so he was getting more health every round. He was having this give him more AD every round. It was crazy. I threw a Bloodthirster on him. Literally came in second place versus a bunch of challengers. It was nutso. All right. Makeshift Armor 2. With your units with no items gain 45 armor and magic resist. Cool stuff. Celestial Blessing 2. Your units heal for 50% of the damage dealt by attacks and abilities. Excess healing is converted into a shield. This one's even bigger. Thrill of the Hunt 2. Your units heal 450 health on a kill. Gotta love it. Gain an Academy Honors. Gain an Academy Emblem. Pretty cool stuff. Arcane Sigil. Gain an Arcanist Emblem. Alright. Runic Shield 2. Arcanists start combat with a shield equal to 600% of their ability power. What if someone has 2 death caps on? What's going on? Huh? What's going on there? Spell Blade. Arcanist attacks deal bonus magical damage equal to 30% of the ability power on hit. Yeah, you can make some crazy builds with this. Crazy builds. Hidden Blade. Gain an Assassin Emblem. Safety Vest. Gain a Bodyguard. Beef Up. Gain a Bruiser. A new challenger approaches. Element X. Gain a Chemtech Emblem. Chemical Overload 2. Chemtechs explode on death is dealing 75% of their maximum health as magical damage. This is too good, dude. I actually think this is too strong. We'll see. Instant injections. Chemtechs now additionally trigger their bonuses at the start of combat. Ooh, that's pretty cool stuff. TikTok. Gain a Clockwork Emblem. Not the app. Armor Plating. Colossus become invulnerable for 2 seconds for the first time. Their health drops below 60% and 30%. Pretty cool stuff. Ardent Sensor. Allies healed or shielded by enchanters gain 15% stacking attack speed for the rest of combat. Pretty cool stuff. Maximum once every 2 seconds. Yo, healing and shield spams with this bad boy. Attack speed's gonna be going wild by the end of rounds, which I love. Alright, gain a little Imperial Emblem. Gotta love it. Dual rule. There are now 2 tyrants. Ooh, that sounds so sweet. Hired Gun. Gain a Mercenary Emblem. Gold Reserves. Mercenaries deal 1% more damage per 1 gold you have. What? Maximum 60%? That's so cool. Gold Reserves is awesome. Experiment 13 through 37. Gain a Mutant Emblem. Alright, really interesting name. Whatever. Bulwark. Gain a Protector Emblem. Pretty cool stuff. Gain a Scholar Emblem. Metal Detector. Gain a little scrap going on. Deadeye. Gain a Sniper Emblem. I wish they don't add in many emblems like this. I kind of like the random bonuses more. But we'll see how it goes in the game. Allies adjacent to a spotlight at the start of combat gain 50% of its bonuses. Pretty cool stuff. Share the spotlight, gotta love it. Shady Business. Gain a Syndicate Emblem. Okay, Sharpshooter, Twin Shot. Twin Shot's ranged attacks and abilities can bounce once, dealing 20% less damage. Sharpshooters are back, baby. That is awesome. So awesome. Windfall. Gain gold based on the number of augments you currently have. What? Interesting. This is a tier 1 augment. Pretty cool stuff. That's a lot of gold. Tier 3 augments are going to be wild. Let's see what they're all about. Portable Forge. Open an armory and choose one of the 3 equipped artifacts crafted by Ornn. Yo. Ornn items are back, baby. That's what I love. Item grab bag 2. Gain 2 random completed items and 2 reforges. Whatever. Band of Thieves. Gain 2 Thieves Gloves. Okay. New recruit. Your gain 1 team size. Free Force of Nature. Sounds good to me. Golden Ticket. Each time your shop is refreshed, you have a 35% chance to gain a refresh. A free refresh. Dude, lots of chance going up to this one. Lots of chance. That's pretty interesting. Level up. When you buy experience points, gain an additional 4 experience points. You can now reach level 10. Ooh. Level 10, gotta love that. Exiles 3. Your units that start combat with no adjacent allies gain an 80% maximum health shield for 8 seconds. Gotta love that. Featherweights 3. Your 1 and 2 cost units gain 80% move speed and attack speed. Knife's Edge 3. We know how this one goes. More attack damage. Cybernetic Implants 2. Bigger health shield. Or more health and more attack damage. Gotta love that. Built different. More bonuses added onto this bad boy. Stand United. Even more across the board. Alright. Makeshift Armor 3. We know how these work. Champions with no items gain a whole lot of goodies, which is nice. Alright, Celestial Blessing 3. Your units heal for 20% of the damage dealt by attacks and abilities. Excess healing is converted into a shield up to 600 health. A 600 health shield is nice. I'm going to like this one a lot. Academy Soul, your team now count as 2 additional academics. That's crazy. Getting free bonus 2 is nuts. Cram Session. After casting their first ability, academics restore 80% of their maximum mana. Whoa! That's crazy. Which is going to snowball into giving more AP across the board too. That's nuts. Runic Shield 2. Arcanists start combat with a shield equal to 800% of their ability power. That is disgusting. And I meant 3, not 2. I think I said 2. Here we go. Your team counts as having 2 additional Arcanists. Gotta love that. Gotta love that. Assassin Soul. Get 2 free assassins. Don't mind if I do. Bodyguard Soul. Gain 2 of those. Bruiser Soul. We know how that works. Gain 2 Brawler Bruisers, whatever you want to call them. Challenger Soul. 2 free Challenger icon emblem trait bonuses, whatever you want. You can actually put these on people, or do you? I'm not sure. I don't think you can, but you get 2 free bonuses. One. Chemical Overload. Oh my gosh. Yo, I'm going to build the fattiest tanks and just send these suckers in to blow up and die. That's going to be so much fun. Temtech Soul, get a free 2 bonus there. Clockwork, same thing. Broken Stopwatch. 8 seconds into combat. All enemies and non-clockwork units are frozen in time for 4 seconds. This paired with some of the late game get into Earth bonuses could be pretty nuts. Enchanter Soul, gain 2 enchanters. Don't mind if I do. Enforcer Soul, thank you. Imperial. We know how these work. Rito, come on, let's get creative, okay? Screw this bonus soul shenanigans. Give us some, like, if you get 150 gold, you get a free nuclear win around, get out of jail free card or something. You know what I'm talking about? Let's get crazy with these. Come on, they're tier 3s. Mutant Soul, gain 2 free additional mutants. Yada, yada, yada. Protector, same difference. Scholar, screw you. Scrap, here we go. Junkyard. Every 3 combat rounds with the scrap trait active, gain a random component. That's pretty cool. Sniper Soul, get 2 free snippers. Don't mind if I do. Your team counts as having 2 additional socialites. Yep. Syndicate, same thing. Payday. After winning your combat, gain 1 bonus gold for each surviving syndicate. Dude, this one's going to be fun for sure. Twin Shot Soul. 2 free bonus twin shots. Don't mind if I do. And that wraps us up. Guys, fatty thumbs up would help a lot. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be uploading a whole lot of set 6. I am beyond excited. And let me know which team comps / champions you want me to bust out as soon as possible, because we will get that done. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time. Peace. Oh, and real quick, if you want to buy some merch, it's in the description. All right, this is one of the pieces you can buy. I love it myself. The fabric feels amazing. I think you guys will like it as well. I partnered with Cloud9 to get this shipped out to you guys as soon as possible. So feel free to check this kind of stuff out if you're interested. Peace.